Today we're going to start with our leg riding entries, okay? Getting into leg ride is the hardest part of leg riding, right? Once we're in, you're going to feel it, you're going to have more control and have options after this weekend, but to get in, right, this guy, especially if he knows that I'm a leg rider, he's going to do everything in his power to keep my boots from coming in, okay? And I don't want to force those in, okay? So there's a few different ways that we can get into leg riding. The first one we're going to do is fairly basic, fairly easy for everyone, right? We're just going to be in our regular starting position. What I want to do here is I'm going to bump to both triceps, okay? So I'm going to get really heavy. Now his goal is to get up, right? His goal is to get up as quickly as possible. My goal is to keep him down. So I'm going to cheat my start, okay? I'm not sitting back on my haunches right here where he can just pop up easy. I'm going to put weight on his hands as I get on, right? So that's going to delay him from exploding out of the chutes, right when that whistle blows. So I want to put a lot of pressure on those hands. He should feel me as I come on. Obviously, we can't be jumping on guys and making a scene, but I can still put pressure on, right? As I get on, I can put some pressure. My toes are dug in, I'm kind of driving, right? I'm putting some pressure on these hands, so that way it's a lot harder for him to pop up quick, okay? All I'm doing is just doing a straight bump, okay? Both back hands coming to those triceps, bumping in, okay? And I'm gonna start with one boot first, and I'm gonna clip in into his ankle here, okay? So watch from the behind. As I come in, I'm gonna bump, I'm gonna throw a hook in, I'm gonna throw a clip in, all right? Boot clip. All right, we learned this last year at Cougar Camp with Chase Tammy, all right? It's a really good position to start our leg ride, okay? Now from here we can go into our double legs or we can go into our cross body, which we'll work on in a little bit, okay? But for right now, I just want to see us get this entry down, okay? So again, we're here. All we're doing is gonna bump, right? Get those weight on the hands, and we're gonna throw one hook in, and one foot is gonna come into the shin here. Boom, 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 okay? Now, I can get a little bit tall, right? And I still got good hip pressure on it, right? To collapse him down. Or just hold if he starts trying to tripod and swim, right? So I bump, hook, clip. Even if he's like trying to shake me off here, I feel pretty good because I'm kind of bind in at the back here. I got my hook in here. I can create some pressure. I can continue to bump and stretch him out, okay? So again, fairly simple to start. We'll go into some other entries and then we'll go into our turns, okay? But I want you guys to each do that like 20 times each, okay? I'll come around and make sure we're all doing it right, and then we'll progress from there. Got it? 1, 2. Is as we're bumping, right, we're getting our hook in, but it's compromising our position because we're kind of falling off, okay? I don't want to fall to my hip here. I want to be spine to spine here with my boot clip in, okay? So I'm in line with him. My hips are covering his hips. I'm on top, and now I can add that pressure, right, where I can really flatten him from this position, okay? So another way we can do this, slightly different, this is Coach Val's favorite. It's a double crotch pry. Now you gotta be careful with the double crotch pry because sometimes you can overlap your hands, right, and get a locking hands call. That's not what we wanna do here. Right, so what I want to do is I want to come inside of both thighs, making sure that I'm not coming close to my touching here, but I'm going to spread his legs. I'm going to do basically the same thing the bump did. I'm going to put pressure on those hands early, right? I used to do this when I was wrestling. I would start with an optional start, right? I wouldn't start with an optional start just to cut the guy. I'd do it to surprise him, right? So I start optional, but I'm not gonna let him go. He might pause and think for a second, right? And that gives me the opportunity to get deep into my double crotch pry and really run this guy down. So I can kind of do it like a football tackle, right? Where I'm coming here and driving, right? And really bump him forward on those hands. And then it's really easy to get those boot clips in, right? So we can do that from regular referees as well. Here, whistle blows, we go inside the crotch here, and we're gonna spread our hands out like this, okay? And then put that weight up on that chest here, right? Now, I'm right in, okay? I wanna stay under the pit. Don't come over the top right away, okay? We wanna stay hunched here. So that way if Camden doesn't roll, or Yeah, go ahead, sit, roll. Right, I'm glued on it, right? I'm staying with that chest to back position, hip to hip, all right? And I can control him where we go, okay? So that's what I want us to try now. I want us to try that double crotch try with that spine to spine, hips on top position. Partner, I want you to go ahead and sit, roll, and let's make sure we're in a good clamp position with our boot clip and our double underhooks, okay? And again, I'm not gonna get penalized here by going double unders, right? I'm not going here. I'm not going double full Nelson, right? I'm just hooking, right? Just hooking at the shoulders. This is completely legal, and then I'm probably gonna be looking for wrists on one side or the other, right? But staying under the pits is really important. So again, we're gonna start here. If you guys wanna try the optional, you can just try the optional start as well. What's up, dude?
How you drink?
Wait till I'm done, but yes. Okay, so bump, drive, replace one with a hook, put the clip in, and now I'm under the pits, I'm secure. I can start looking for wrist, start looking for power half, whatever, okay? But I want you staying here and then let your partner give you a little sit or a roll, right? And you make sure to come back on top, right back to our armpits and boot clip, okay? Try it out, 1, 2. Now is making sure, one, I did want to go over this small piece of this position real quick, and then we're going to progress a little bit more. So again, we're bumping, boot clip, and then I'm going to go elbow in the ear here, baseball grip, either one, elbow in the ear here, baseball grip, thumbs down, baseball grip, and then I really want to make sure we're arching our hips, okay, and my head's up. I saw a lot of heads down and not a lot of hip pressure. Guys, just trying to rip this out. But I'm also keeping good position here. My head's up, right? So when I pull and my hips are really heavy on him, right? I should be able to put a lot of pressure on Camden. He's feeling it in his arms right now. And I'm not even touching him with my upper body, right? So Camden, you're feeling that, right? You're kind of shaking, right? I'm really putting some good pressure. So when I do this, it's really easy just to pull that out, right? It's like collapsing a house of cards kind of sort of feel. All right, so again, this hip pressure is really important, okay? Because if we come in with loose hips on a guy that like is as scrambly and as long as like Camden is, I'm gonna be in trouble. He's gonna put me to my back if I come in with loose hips, okay? So making sure we come in with tight hips right away, right? I should be able to collapse him because of my hip pressure only, okay? The baseball grip's just an added little bonus, okay? So again, make sure we get good hip pressure here. Again, I wanna show you guys some other entries. So we're gonna move on from this position. We'll revisit this a little bit more tomorrow when we go into our double leg series. But today we're gonna go over our cross body series. So this next one I really like to do, and I use this one a lot. When we were coming up, we chopped a lot, okay? So we're gonna start with a chop this time, okay? So changing gears a little bit, but again, this will all be relevant tomorrow, and you'll kind of get the whole picture of it. Okay, so for this one, we're gonna go tight waist chop, okay? Now, what I see a lot wrong with a lot of chops is guys don't chop with their whole body. They chop with their arms, okay? This does me no good, okay? This just gives him a hyperextended arm and really doesn't accomplish what I want to accomplish with my chop. For this chop, I'm not just chopping to get a wrist, but I'm going to chop to get a leg in, okay? So this is a sneaky way to get a leg in. So whenever I chop, I go tight waist. I want to try to wrap as deep as I can, all the way up to his spine if possible. And then I'm going to put my knee in front. See that knee? This does the chop, okay? Just these two alone can do the chop. The chop, the actual chop, is just to secure that arm a little bit better, right? So I should be able to chop Camden with just this alone, right? It's one of the only times we're on our hip, right? In wrestling, we don't want to be on our hip most of the time, but for this case, it's an exception, right? So I'm going to tight waist, and I like to pull the hinge rather than smack against the hinge, right? So I want to use the bends that God gave him, right? I'm just going to pull, right? If I can make my middle finger right into the joint of his elbow, right? It's just like kicking someone's knees out when they're locked out, right? Kind of the same theory. I'm just going to be pulling that in. I'm going in with the bend. I don't want to go against the bend and hurt this guy. Like That's not my point. My point is to break him down and score some points, right? So I go tight waist and I pull that in. As I block with my knee, I'm gonna pull him up on my hips for just a second here. Here, and watch how I slip that in, okay? Now as I come up, I'm gonna be coming up into my cross body, okay? So this one's gonna be a little bit different. It's kind of old school, right? This cross body ride. You don't see it too much anymore. What's up, Dewey?
Shouldn't people really close back up?
It's okay, buddy. Hang on. Okay, so we don't see this a lot, too much nowadays, but I still think it's relevant, and we have a lot of good scoring holds from this position. So what I want to do to ride in this position is I want to go elbow to armpit, hand on the ankle. Now how long can I hold this hand on the ankle? 5 seconds, okay? Refs are gonna start counting as soon as I grab this ankle, or they should, right? Good refs will. So I'm pulling on this ankle, I'm driving his hands, weight on his hands, I'm counting to 4 in my head, or I'm letting the ref count for me. Sometimes you can look at the ref and they'll start waving, right? If they start doing that, right, they start counting, be aware, okay? But you see these college guys, they're not fazed by this, okay? They're not fazed by the counting. Still use it. It's still a good tool. Don't abandon it too early. Do your full 4 seconds before you transition, right? Because it's a really great position to hold and keep pressure on it. So again, I'm going into my tight waist, knee in front, chop at the elbow, pull him up on me, and slip that leg in. Everyone see that? Okay, so it's a little sneaky, okay? And then as he comes up and builds, I let him, and I come up into my cross body. My foot's on the ground, so I'm mobile. I can push this way, I can push this way, right? I'm pretty mobile here. My elbow's in his armpit, I'm grabbing that ankle, okay? This is where I want us to stop right now, and then we'll go into our turns, okay? Okay, so watch on this side. I'm gonna tight waist, pull that hinge, pull my knee in front of his knee. Again, I should be able to chop like this, okay? There's no reason I need to break this kid's elbow. Okay, pull him in, slip it in, okay? As he builds, come up, ankle, armpit. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, and I'm good. What's up?
So you basically just have to fall over.
Kinda. It's a little more technical than that though. Right? I'm getting my tight waist, my knees in front. I'm pulling. Yeah, I'm pulling him up on me. I'm making sure waist, knee in front, pull him up. This leg's going in. Okay? Here and here. Come back up, elbow armpit. Okay? Now from here, right, I want to start targeting this elbow. Okay? I want to start targeting this elbow. Back up. So I want to target this elbow, okay, immediately. So I'm over the top, I'm snaking in, I'm targeting this elbow. Okay, the first one we're going to do 2 different finishes. You guys probably know this one, but it's just a regular wrestling guillotine, okay? So this one they can get squeamish on if you lock it in advance, so you got to be careful, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start ripping this back, grabbing his wrist, right? If I need to, I'll come over and grab this wrist and pull this back, okay? Now, if I go here and start locking his head, what's the ref gonna do? He's gonna blow his whistle, right? He doesn't like me locking this early and getting to this position early. So we gotta take this slow, okay? So I'm gonna go here. I'm gonna start to pull him back, okay? Now, once I get this 90-degree angle with the shoulders, and I'm really not ripping against anything, now I can come over and start to get my near fall. And this is one of the only times we can lock around the head without an arm, okay? So this is a really powerful position. I'm gonna secure it even further by snaking my left or my right foot around his shin, okay? So this is a really nice tight position as I straighten these legs, right? He's getting flatter by the second for me to get my pin, okay? So again, this one's kind of old school, basic guillotine. You probably all know this, most of you, okay? But we're gonna be transitioning with this position a little bit from here on out. So again, I'm gonna chop, get my hook in, come back up, All right, get my rudder foot so I can push against, snake that arm right at the elbow. I can even lock if I need to, start pulling that in. Grab this. I'm gonna pull him up on me, double boot on that ankle. Now, this is illegal, okay? I'm not allowed to do this, snaking my own calf, okay? But this is totally legal. I can have this hook all day, right? Super painful, he's super locked in. There's not many places you can go. Sorry, break my leg. Okay? Now one thing you'll end up doing here is as you get to this position, right, and I snake in, I'm here, and I start pulling this back, right? Let's say I get like here, right, and this guy just tries to head and arm me, right? So he just head and arms me, like pulls me down. Back right where I started, right? Just go with it, okay? He's pulling himself to his back. Again, don't lock it early, but you can put it behind your head as long as you go slow and control, okay? Here, put it behind our head, right? As long as we don't start wrenching and locking early, the rest will be okay as I slowly come back. But again, if he starts trying to head and arm me here, I'm just gonna tuck my right shoulder, right? Push off with my rudder foot and do a roll. Keep that wrist the whole time, okay? Puts him flat to his back. Now I can start locking and finishing, okay? If I want to, do that double lock. Okay? It can make it a lot easier for your partner if you build up. And you're naturally gonna build up anyway. You wanna get up off the bottom. You're not gonna stay there, okay? So when I chop Camden, he's not just gonna stay here. He's gonna come up, and then it's a lot easier for me to get into position, okay? So be a good partner, build back up to your base, okay? So now from here, well, another one I like to do here is what you'll notice is as we start snaking, what do you think this guy's gonna do? Okay, when we start snaking this arm, right, and he felt that, right, what do you think he's gonna do?
I don't know.
He might limp arm, he might grab his own arm, right, and really keep me from doing this, right? So I still wanna turn him when I get to this position, especially when I can get to a bent elbow like this, right, I'm in a good position to turn him. Okay, as soon as I can break that elbow, I feel pretty good. So whether he's grabbing his arm or not, I'm gonna just start curling this, trying to drive up my rudder foot, right? Keep this one free. I saw a couple of us trying to cross our ankles here. I wanna be free here so I can move and push wherever I need to, right? Just stay hips on top, grab that ankle again if needed, right? Now from here, I'm gonna go for this, but he's gonna lock his hands, right? So as he locks his hands, I'm just gonna take this right hand, and instead of just gable gripping here, I'm gonna reach through those legs. Grab that ball and chain. Now I adjust that elbow, okay, from a deep grab to a pry bar, okay? So now my elbow's digging into his spine, and I got a nice ball and chain and a hook on the other side. So now when I roll back, I have really good control here, okay? Camden's not going anywhere. I have both sides of his body nice and locked up. I'm getting good points here, right? 4 points, new rules, okay? A lot of good points here. All right, this is called the Torella ball and chain, okay? So again, we chop, snake this in, partner builds up. We're here, snake immediately. Looking for that elbow in the armpit into our snake, right? If he's starting to grab his hand, I'm gonna lock, try to rip it up. I can't go any further. I'm gonna take this hand, go through his legs, grab his wrist, adjust my elbow, pull it out, and I'm still doing a curl. So my palm's still up, but it's now against his back here. So I went from deep elbow to shallow pry, and I'm just grinding. Camden doesn't like this. I can really be mean on his ribs, back area with this elbow. And then my rudder foot pushes. All right, and we're in a good position to get a full 4 count, okay? Again, with this one, it's the same thing. Don't be afraid to get a little funky, okay? So I'll just get into it for now. Don't be afraid to get a little funky as I'm ripping, right? He wings down hard. Right? And I can swing through, right? I can go either way, okay? I'm not worried about where he goes because I got him locked up on both sides. Actually on this side. Here. Can't get it. Here. Alright. Don't be afraid to roll over on this, okay? I want to see you guys try to do that roll too. Okay? Try that ball and chain. Bring back, but try the roll too. Notice when I do the roll, I'm turning my shoulder down. So as I'm here, right, I'm going to turn away from him. My right shoulder is going to turn down, and I push off with that foot. Now I kind of have a banana split ball and chain sort of deal. Watch your own back, right? We don't want to pin ourselves. Be aware you're turning, okay? Let's mess with it. 1, 2. Make sure we're adjusting that elbow, okay? So when I'm in this cross body ride, and I get to here, right? Adjust this elbow. Make sure we're doing this, okay? Because this I can use to drive into his back, right? We weren't shortening our elbow and using that leverage enough, okay? So make sure we're doing that, and we're pushing with our rudder foot here. All right? Okay? Now, going to the next one. Again, these are all kind of in the same vein. If you guys are confused, that's okay. I'll have this video for you guys. I'll send it out in an email so you guys can watch it back. Okay? I know I'm going over a lot. I like to do a bunch of techniques, so bear with me. I'm going to go into one that I like to do. I kind of feel like I invented this one because no one taught me it, but I just started doing it. I'm going to be in that same position, right? So I'm in our cross body ride. Again, these are our parking positions, elbow, ankle, right? So make sure we're starting here, okay? Now when I do this, I saw a few of us having trouble getting to that wrist through the legs, right? Who had trouble getting to the wrist of the ball and chain, right? Some of us did, right? And sometimes it'll be there and sometimes it won't. If this guy's smart, he'll probably keep it above his pecs, right? He'll keep that arm a little bit more shallow. So this time, Asher's going to be real strong for me. And as I go for this, right, he grabs his own hand. Hey, boys, we're going to start doing push-ups, okay? He grabs his own hand here, right? So now it's going to be really hard for me to get a ball and chain, right? Can't really do that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to my S grip, okay? Everyone make an S grip. Just 2 hooks right here, okay? I'm going to go to this S grip. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull my left bar in. Okay, so I go here.
Oh, so chicken wing.
Right, now I got a chicken wing and I got his chin, right? Or just like a scoop, I can grab that armpit, or I can get my near fall here. If I'm not getting it, right, if the ref's not counting, let's say he's really fighting me hard, right? I'm just gonna take this out and just start pushing his head away. Okay, I can even go shoulder down. All right, start looking for this pin.
But don't let go of the leg because the guy can pop up
Yeah.
and get on you.
I saw a lot of us losing that leg, right? Making sure we keep this leg in, okay?
And another thing, be a good partner. When Caleb puts his stuff in, Asher goes to his head and locks his hand. That really helps us develop the move.
All right, so I go to this S grip, I rip it, I feed it in. Fall back immediately, right? I can grab his chin, maybe get near fall here. If I'm not, I can start pushing his head away, right? And then if I really want to try to get a pin, I'm going to just turn my shoulder and mat here. Okay? But look at how bind in I am with this leg, right? I'm all the way to his shin here. This isn't going anywhere, okay? So use this leg. Make sure we're all the way bind in to his shin, okay? I saw a few of us loose here, crossing our ankles like this, trying to get this one in. It's this one, okay? This one should do it. Again, I'm pulling that S grip to my bar tight, falling back immediately, putting pressure on that bar. Push the head away, turn the shoulder down to get my pin. All right, even someone big and strong like Asher can still get that turn, okay? One more time on this. Chop, snake this foot in, he comes up. I come up with him, get it even deeper. Start snaking here, he's really strong, right? He can even like pull this in pretty tight, right? And I still can get that turn. Notice how I fall right away. As soon as I get this snaked in, I'm falling, putting pressure on it, looking for that pin. Okay? Questions? Straight out, 1, 2. Bungee jump cradle. This guy starts the tripod on me. Okay, he tripods. Anytime someone does a tripod on me, I want to look for this one. Okay, all I'm gonna do is I'm gonna throw this shallow hook, and this is gonna be my bungee cord. Okay, I'm gonna jump over the top. Okay, this keeps me in, right? And it's easy for me to get my cradle. Okay, so now I got one hook in, I got my bungee. Okay, this is holding me in. From here, now I can kick out, sit beside him, and rip him back. Okay, if I want to finish this really good, I'm gonna take my bottom knee, put it into his lower ribs here. I'm gonna put my head into his temple. Okay, this will flatten him out and cause a lot of discomfort. This is available. Okay, now I don't want to just try to flip him here. If he grabs my head again, I go the other way. If he grabs my head again, don't be too panicked here. Okay, go ahead and rip it. Ready? Don't be panicked. We still have a good cradle. Okay, we just roll through using that hook too. Tripod, I'm gonna go jump the hook in, look for my elbow pit to line up against his knee pit, and the other elbow pit to line up against his neck. So I'm jumping, okay? Now I can kick out, sit beside him, rip back, knee in the side, head in the temple, get him flat. Any questions? Back like this, right? It's not gonna work. He's too strong, okay? Kick that leg out, sit beside him, rip back. Okay? Try it out, 1, 2. All right, so we're going here. We're gonna start with our crossbody ride. As we chop, we hook our leg in, he comes up, I build up. Once I'm here, I get to my parking position, come up, I go elbow into the ankle. Now, from here, a lot of times guys will start to tripod, right? So as he tripods, what I wanna do, Maverick, why don't you come over here for me?
Okay.
Okay, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drape my hand over his neck, look for his chin as I slide to my butt for a brief second. My head's gonna go right into his hip. I'm gonna drop this leg, elbows in the knee pits and the neck, drive my head into his hip and run him over. Into my cradle, I look for my nose and toes finish, looking at my pin. As you tripod, I fall up, I drive my head in, elbows lined up with the elbow pits, knee pit, and ankle, or neck. I lock my hands, drive him over, look at my pin. All right, the next one, I'm gonna force my cradle. So I'm in my crossbody ride. Instead of going elbow in the armpit, I'm gonna go to my pop here, and then I'm gonna start to flip for my cradle here. Now I'm gonna kick my leg out, roll through, keep my wrist, elbow in the ribs, head in the temple to get my pin. One more time on that. Chop, get our hook in, he comes up. I climb up with him, elbow in the armpit, pop, pop. Now from here, I can kick my leg out early, or I can lock my cradle first, and then kick my leg out. Now from here, run, roll, knee in the ribs, head in the temple. On our bungee jump cradle, right, we watched this one earlier. He comes tripod. I hook my heel to the knee, and I get really tall over the side. My head's almost to the mat here. That allows me to cradle, right? Again, I'm lined up with my elbow pits, and I can kick out. Now from here, if he's forward, I'm just gonna drive him to the top of his head and do a somersault. Same finish. One more time. One more time. He's gonna be tripoding. Bungee jump cradle. Step. Bungee jump cradle. Kick out. He's forward. I drive him over his head. Flip. And finish. Now, this time I get a leg in. He's not tripoding. I'm either in a crossbody or a boot clip or even double hooks, right? All will work. Come up for me, buddy. Okay, now I'm gonna do my reverse bundle. So I put my elbow in his ear. I look for this far elbow, right above the elbow tricep area. I'm gonna grab and immediately pull and look to secure it with my second hand. Then I can use my rudder foot to push off, drop my elbow into his neck, start to scoot out and look for my pin. Again, I can do this with double legs in. Okay, yep. Reach over, pull it in, drop that elbow to get that pin. Yesterday we worked a lot of cross body riding, some entries, and then some cradles from our leg ends. Like I said, I'm going to send you guys a video of all that stuff so you can remember it throughout the summer. Today we're going to be working a little bit more with our spiral rides and our double vines and turns from there. This is something that I really like to use. I feel like this is one of the best ways to ride legs, especially when we really want to dominate this guy and keep ourselves from getting slipped off the top and losing the position. Double vines is sometimes the way to go, right? Especially, we were kind of doing it yesterday. You guys felt, some of you non-linear challenged guys, those shorter guys, right? It's a little bit harder to do that cross body stuff when you're a little shorter. This kind of leg riding that I'm going to show today is going to be a little bit more applicable for you shorter guys, but you longer guys can use it as well, just as good. Okay, so this is not just for long guys, this is for everyone. This setup we learned from Mark Perry when we had him out a few years ago. I really like this setup and I really like this spiral ride. So we're going to start with this spiral ride today. When I get on this guy this time, what I'm going to do is, instead of doing our traditional C on the elbow, like so, where I'm ready to chop, I'm going to go thumb down. Okay, so I go thumb down right on the elbow. What that does for me is, go ahead and turn this way. So what this does for me is, when I go elbow or thumb down on the elbow, it allows me to go quickly to my claw ride, right? So I can get quick to his neck, rather than having to move my hand all the way up and down. I can kind of just release my thumb here and shoot it up, okay? So what I'm looking for on my claw ride is, I want to dip my shoulder into his armpit. I want to get my hand all the way over his neck, okay? So when I dip in here, I'm going to drop all the way down. I'm going to wrap it around his neck, and then I'm going to start to squeeze, okay? Ramon doesn't like this, right? It's not comfortable for Ramon. I'm starting to take out the circulation a little bit from his brain. I'm not choking him, it's a legal position. I have his arm and I'm not locking my hand. So I'm legally allowed to hold onto his neck. I'm gonna start to pull against his neck to really tire him out, kind of turn his head and make him work a lot. Now I'm not just gonna do that, but I'm also gonna have a crotch pry, and I'm gonna have weight on his hand. So my head's gonna be leaned over here. Again, I'm starting thumb down. I'm gonna dip that shoulder, try to get really, really deep here. I don't want us coming to the back here, okay? This isn't gonna turn his head, it's not gonna wear him out as well, and it's not gonna ride as well, okay? So I wanna be here, over the neck, and then I ratchet down as I drive my chin over his shoulder, okay? So now I can put a lot of weight on Ramon's hands, and I have that crotch pry. Sort of like we did that double crotch pry yesterday.
Yeah.
I have one now, okay? I wanna go backhand, lifting up, right? As I claw down. And then I'm gonna use this, just like a broomstick, right? A broomstick. Grab me a broomstick, boy. Yep, that red one. All right, run.
Don't make it. Hustle.
This is a Coach Val analogy for y'all.
Hustle.
Okay? If I take a broomstick into Ramon's leg, and I pry it up, right? Pry it up, get it deep, pry it up, right? That's gonna lift it, okay? That's what I'm doing with my hand, right? It's just a broomstick, okay? So I wanna be super strong here. So again, thumb down, drop to my claw, around the neck, not the shoulder. Neck, dip deep, okay? Dip deep, ratchet down. Put that chin right over your hand here, and then our pry bar is gonna come in. I'm gonna run my feet around him. All right? That's all I want us to start with today, okay? Try to get there fast, okay? Try to go as fast as you can from here to here. Notice I'm on my toes. My weight's forward. My chin is literally on my hand here. Okay? Here, and the chin over that hand. Right? That's gonna enclose this, make it really hard for him to move, and then I run around him. Pry bar up. Okay? Any questions? Try that breakdown. 1, 2. Put a lot of weight on those hands, just like we did, but this guy's gonna be stubborn for me, and he's not gonna go down, okay? So as I run this, he's gonna stay really strong. All I'm gonna do is act like I'm riding a horse, right? Get up on that horse, I'm gonna kick my boot over, I'm gonna replace this hand with a boot. Okay? Now, once I do that, notice I'm spine to spine. My head's up, right? I still have my claw. Okay? Now it's really easy from this point to put my other leg in because I'm blocking this hole with my claw, right? So as I kick in, Ramon can't really catch that leg, right? If he goes to catch this leg, it just can't do it because I'm blocking. I'm making this hole with this claw, right? So it's easy for me to go double boots here, okay? Now from here, I want to break him down. I don't want to just ride, okay? So it's, they actually made this a 5-second hold in college, right? You're not allowed to do this for longer than 5 seconds in college because it's such a good hold. They haven't adapted this to junior high and high school yet. So I think you guys should take advantage of it. I had a coach, Nick Simmons, who used to do this a lot, riding guys, and he was very successful with it. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this claw and I'm gonna wrap my own elbow. Okay, this is the lock I'm talking about. Just by locking around the head and arm, right? In college, it's 5-second hold. High school, not necessarily, okay? They haven't started calling this as a 5-second hold. So we can sit here as long as we want, right? So now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna kick my heels back, my head up, I'm gonna rip Ramon to the ground. Okay? Now from here, this is where it gets a little bit complex. What I wanna do is I wanna take my whole grip here and just kind of slide it up his face. Okay, see that? I just took it up his face, right? Now I'm gonna take my right arm out, the one that wasn't clawing, and I'm gonna start shoving his head down, okay? I'm already at his elbow with my other hand because I shoved it up, and so this becomes a nasty half really quick, okay? The nasty half can really wreck a shoulder, so please be very careful with this and be very kind with your partner, okay? So I'm gonna push down as I come over, right? Nasty half, okay? This is miserable for the guy on bottom, okay? It's really gonna break his shoulder. It's not a fun position. I can put my fist to the mat here and start pulling my chest up. Look at how that allows him to turn, right? Just by doing this. Allows him to turn. If I'm super tight on him, I'm just gonna wreck his shoulder if I try to shove this over, right? So I gotta lift my chest a little bit, allow him to turn, right? And then I'm gonna kick my right boot out, okay? The opposite boot that I have of the half, so this one, right? And then I kick that out and I start shuffling chest to chest. Tee off, I can post my head if I need to. I can rip up and set those shoulder blades down. It's a really tight hold. What's up? That's okay. I got it. Thank you. Okay, so again, I'm gonna start with my thumb down. I drop to my claw. I put my chin over, start running. I'm gonna just open this up to saddle in, replace that hand. Wrap my elbow, put the other one in. Now I just rip up and then shuffle over his face. Okay, now both hands are above his face on that elbow. I'm gonna push his head, try to put my left hand to his ear. Okay, lift the chest, allow him to fall. Kick the boot out, shuffle to the side, get it tight. I want it elbow deep, tee off, get a nice pin. What's up? Okay. All right, guys, grab a partner, try it out. 1, 2. Ride this, right? So I can go double heels, right, without crossing, okay? I can cross, right? Mark Perry was big on crossing his legs here. When he rode, he would kind of anchor his legs to the mat by crossing his legs, and it kind of creates a tight constricting ride for him that he can't really get out of. Okay. Now the really tough one, and this is one that is it's legal, right? It's not illegal, but it's close, right? So what I'm doing is I'm going to go cross, right? If I go all the way to my knee pit, that's illegal, right? But if I stay on my ankle and I cross here, this is legal, okay? It's a legal figure four because I'm not actually in a full figure four. Does that make sense? Okay? But this allows me to do a lot of pressure, right? I can do this without any arms, flatten them out, right? Because I have a lot of pressure here with this lock, okay? Because it kind of puts a bar over his stomach and I can really wrench and it flattens him pretty good, okay? So mess with different configurations with your feet, right? So you can feel whichever is comfortable with you, okay? And feel whichever one you can put the most pressure on a guy.
Why is shaking the head for figure four?
Just because, like, if I can get this lock pretty tight, right? We do this in jiu-jitsu a lot. I can hold on to him for quite a bit if I get this really tight like this, and I can really squeeze him out. And they want us to avoid kind of stalling here, right?
I hope no one will take in the head.
Okay. All right, so play with those different figurations. Again, this one's my favorite. Dude, you're gonna get pushed. Okay, so I want to put my hips in. See how his hips are in the air, right? He doesn't have a grounded hip right now because I got a lot of pressure down. Okay, this is really mean pressure on his hips, and I'm allowed to break him down really easily with that cross. Okay, so try those out. But one thing I'm noticing while we're here, okay, one, we gotta rip this up, right? And then we gotta shuffle over. So the reason I'm shuffling over is to get at this elbow, okay? This is where I wanna start this half. Everyone see this? Okay, and then I'm shoving the head. Okay, make sure we're shoving the head. I saw a lot of us not shoving the head here. Okay, so I wanna start this half at his elbow, shove the head, and that creates that nasty half, right? Now his elbow can touch that opposite ear, and it's really mean, but it's a great leverage point, right? Now I'm putting that fist in the mat, I'm raising my chest, right? That allows him to turn, okay? Then I kick that boot out, sink back side, and squeeze, okay? So make sure we're coming up at the elbow, shoving that head into our nasty half. Try to, again, don't try to hurt your partner, but try to get that elbow over, okay? That's really where you're gonna get this leverage. Okay, and then keep his hips to the mat with a good leg ride. Try either crossing your ankles, right? Or getting that quasi figure four. What's up? All right, any questions on that? You guys get where we're missing a little bit? All right, let's try it out. 1, 2. Always get this perfect claw breakdown, slide over, right? Sometimes we get into our double vines, and this guy's a fighter, right? So as we're doing this, come in, and this guy's just fighting me tough, right? So sometimes we gotta go back to what we did yesterday into our baseball hold, okay? So I'm now got double vines in. I can choose which side, put that elbow in the ear, rip up, okay? Boom, okay? Now I got him flat, okay? But I don't have my claw, right, to slide over his face to get that nasty elbow, okay? Back a little bit. So, instead of going with my claw, sliding it over his face and shoving the head, now I'm gonna go double wrist, okay? Some of you guys might know this one. This is a really great setup. I'm gonna go 2 hands, 2 wrists, okay? And when I grab my wrist, I don't wanna just grab his strong wrist here, right? Ramon can just roll this out, right? Or tuck it in, whatever. I don't wanna do that. What I wanna do is I wanna grab it as pinkies, okay? Pinkies. Now, roll your wrist out, Ramon. Come on, roll it out. Okay? I have him pretty trapped, right? So now I'm gonna just drive up, right? And I'm gonna make him choose which side I wanna have, okay? So Ramon's gonna roll one of these out because he doesn't like it. Just take one and try to roll it out. I catch it, okay? I let him decide which one he wants to roll out. As he does, I catch it at the elbow, shove the head right back to my nasty half. Okay? Now you can go chest up, kick that opposite boot out, chest to chest, sink it deep. Okay? You guys are gonna get a good shoulder stretch today, okay? It's not fun, but very effective. All right, run, kick boot in, second boot in. He's not going down. Baseball grip, rip and lift. Kick those heels back. Okay, now I'm gonna reach back in for my pinkies, right? Make him decide. He rolls one out, catch it at the elbow, punch the mat. Try to get this elbow over the head. Once you do that, it's go over, okay? If this arm's pushed out, right, his elbow's out, just shove it in, okay? Shove that elbow in. All right, that's the only thing that's gonna really stop you at this point is that elbow, okay? Now kick your leg out, shuffle the side, reset, finish. All right, buddy? Any questions on that? You guys wanna see it one more time?
Yeah.
Okay, one more time. Sorry, Ramon. All right, dude, you're gonna be next. What do you do on you? Okay, let's show the other side.
Yeah.
Claw spiral, run, boot, boot. Trying to rip him down, he's just really strong. Baseball grip, rip, lift. Okay, reach back down for my pinkies. He chooses a side, I shove that head over. If this is blocking, I shove it in. Try it out, 1, 2. Okay. Making sure that we kick these legs in, and then once we break him down, I want us to make sure that we're getting this elbow over, okay? We don't have to spend any more time on this. I know you guys' shoulders are kind of tweaked already. This one's a mean one, it's not fun to practice. But make sure my hips are in, right? My hips are pressured, his hips are off the mat, right? So that way he can't move, he can't do much here. And then I'm gonna take, even if I just wanted to do one, right, that's fine as well. I'm gonna roll that wrist out and then catch it high, right? I'm pulling this up to my chest here as I push his head, right? This is the transition we're not getting too well, right? So as I roll this out, he rolls it out and I catch it at the elbow and push it over, right? That's where I get the nasty half, okay? We used to do this one, right, where you can kind of double lock it, right? This is legal as well. If you guys want to mess with that real quick, I guess we can do this one more time. You guys can grab this. Again, I'm just going here, pushing that head over, and I grab it, right? Double lock it. Now he's really in trouble. Not many places that Ramon can go at this point. Okay. Make sure, go ahead and just start with your legs in on this next one, because I want to go a little bit quicker so we can get to the next one. Okay, so just go ahead and put your boots in. Pop. Take one wrist, that's fine, okay? And then pull up, okay? Pull up, shove over, and if you want, you can double lock. Push it over. A tilt series now, but we're staying with our claw. Okay, so we're going to the same setup, claw, spiral, boot, boot. But this time, I'm gonna keep this claw in, boys, pay attention. I'm gonna keep this claw in, I'm gonna take my hand, I'm gonna go over his neck. I'm gonna grab my own forearm, okay? What this does is allows me to hold onto my arm and use it as a tilt. All right? It's also very, very constricting on his neck, okay? And I can pull right here. All right, so again, I'm doing this from my claw. So your claw, spiral, boot, boot. Take this hand on the other side of your claw. Okay, I'm not grabbing my elbow anymore like this. I'm gonna take it on the other side. I'm just gonna grab my forearm, okay? Now I can use this leverage, even if I wanted to kick out and use a little bit more drive with the rudder foot, that's fine too. But I'm just gonna turn my right elbow down and I'm gonna pull him in. Okay? Now I have good control. I'm getting points. Okay? Ask Ramon, it's pretty tight, right? All right, it's tight around the neck. It's a really tough hold. It's kind of unique because you're over the top. It's a kind of funky hold, but it really works. Okay, so this side, claw, spiral, foot on it, boot, boot. Again, I'm not coming to the elbow this time. I'm gonna go through his neck and grab my own forearm. If I need to, I'll take one out as a rudder foot, push, push. I'm gonna kick it right back in. as I fall. Okay? Scoot, get some points. I'm probably not gonna pin him with this, but it's a great hold to get 4, near fall, come back, do it again, right? Because really I'm not really doing a deep hold here, right? So I'm claw. Here, right? He goes down to his belly, right? Ref could even give me 2 here. It's not like a real technical hold, right? It's not like a half or a bar. So I can go right back to it, right? Without losing my claw. All right? Sometimes look for that ref to give you those points off that first turn, then just go right back to it. Keep that claw in. If you have to, pull the claw out and then go right back to it. Okay, we can really rack up points with this one. Okay? I always tried to line up on the opposite side. I encourage you guys to try both sides when you're doing this because it really throws the guy off, you know, when you start on the other side. They don't practice as much on this side just by standard. You guys know we're mostly practicing on the other side. So I was always stronger with my right arm, so I'd always try to get the claw on this side. So I'd start here, thumb down, same thing. We're getting our claw, we're getting our spiral. This time, again, I'm just doing a breakdown, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start running this, but instead of running all the way around to get the breakdown, what I like to do is I like to come right in front and put my thigh or my knee right on the juicy part of his thigh, okay? When I was here, right, I'd throw here and then I just drive this knee here. Instead of just running my spiral now, I'm gonna kind of just drive him forward, okay? It's not very nice, okay? But wrestling's not very nice, okay? It's a mean sport. So again, I'm here, my claw, I get a tight crotch pry. I start to run, but I'm just gonna put that knee right on top of the thigh. Make sure it's right on top and I'm driving straight down and then I'm pushing everything forward. All right, just takes out his legs. It's really nice, okay? From there, if you guys want to go into another tilt, this one's fun. We can grab this wrist. Again, I like 4 fingers when I grab my wrist rather than grabbing the meat of the wrist so he can't roll it out. I'm going to get this claw really tight. I'm going to start driving my knee into his hip, and I'll just pull him on me. Okay? Scoot out, get a nice little tilt. Okay? I'll show you guys how to do the claw tilt from the knee position after this, but this one's just a claw and a wrist tilt when we flatten out. Okay, so again, we're here, we get our claw really deep, we're in that crotch pry, opposite knee in, okay? So the one that I have the claw in, that one's not going in, that one's outside, okay? So it's kind of funky, this opposite leg, where I'm normally hugging the hips, the opposite leg's gonna come right on top of the thigh, I'm gonna stretch them out. Grab that wrist, knee in the hip, rudder foot. You can kind of hook over, right? Scoot out as needed to get some cheap points, okay? One more time. Claw, spiral, knee, opposite knee of your claw is in the thigh. I'm just going straight down, but bringing everything forward. Grabbing that wrist, 4 fingers, knee in the hip, rudder foot, the rudder foot turns into a hook. 5 minutes on this portion. All right, so this one, we're gonna look for our wrist instead of staying with our claw this time, okay? So we're gonna be spiraling with our claw, and this time you can do either the running spiral or the knee on top spiral. I don't care, either one works. Okay, but now I'm going to be looking for this inside wrist instead. Okay, so I go here, I run the spiral or knee in the thigh, either one, but I'm going to look for this wrist immediately. I'm going to drive my shoulder down to his spine, putting pressure on him. Right now, Ramon can't get up here. Okay, I got a lot of pressure on him, a lot of pressure on his shoulder. I go baseball grip and push it back. Okay. Now, I have a nice trapped arm behind his back. I'm gonna go back for my claw here, right? Now, refs are gonna get super squeamish on this if I lift this even a centimeter, okay? We cannot lift this over his back. Do not lift this up, okay? This is just a placeholder, okay? I'm just holding it in place. He's got no post on this side, okay?
It's a doggy.
Okay, now I can go claw on the other side. I'm gonna put my knee right on top of his tricep here. Use that rudder foot, and then this rudder foot turns into a hook. Okay, I'm getting my tilt points. Again, this time we're using the wrist to get it behind an arm bar situation. All right, we're running. Now on this spiral, we can change it up a little bit if you guys feel like you're better with a wrist spiral or a half spiral. So a wrist spiral is just bumping right here, looking for that wrist. You can do that, right? Or we can go half spiral. Half spiral. Same thing. Our main goal is to get to this wrist, right? Once we get to this wrist, as soon as I roll it under, I'm driving my shoulder into his back. All right, got a lot of leverage, baseball grip, push it to the back. From here, I'm gonna claw in on the opposite side. Again, I'm not lifting this off the back. Drive my knee right into the tricep, hold tight, push off. Get my tilt, okay? Spiral into our legs, right? We jump into our legs. And this guy starts tripoding up, okay? As he tripods up, right, and I'm kind of hanging over the top a little bit here, right? What I want to do is I'm going to reach down and I'm going to grab his foot, okay? I'm going to scoot out. I'm going to get my pin. Again, this is the funkier one, and it's kind of like a last-ditch effort, but I'm kind of going over the falls, okay? The reason I grabbed Kim is because he's nice and limber and long for me, right? So I go in my claw spiral, and then he tripods up, right? And I'm kind of falling off, right? So as I fall off, I grab this heel, okay? 2 hands on this heel. Both of my legs are still in. See that? All right, that's what's trapping him. If he slides to his back of the head here, onto the mat, right? Scoots his butt out, right here, I'm gonna lose him. Okay, so I don't wanna lose him. I wanna hold him tight with those legs in. All right, so again, claw spiral, he comes up. All right, we're just gonna dive and grab that ankle, okay? Keep him tight, all right? Don't hurt your partner, but keep it tight, okay? We can get a pin here, all right? Just scoot out a little bit, nice tight ball, okay? Over the top, oh no, we're falling.
I can't do that.
You could do it.
No, I can't.